Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's a very general question that we'd like to ask. Since we're currently having a lots of challenges from previously to the current situation, generation to by generation, the pressures keep increasing. The government itself have the initiatives and whatnot. But what actually that we would like to provide, because we're currently having the initiative to open to every level. Like the previously early in the morning, we have the parent who are asking the question and whatnot. How we wanted to implement this to make it everybody at every level open to this kind of thing, because our stigma is that when you go to psychiatrist or you go to counselor, you are labeled as crazy people. So how are we going to do that in our current environment? I'm not talking outside, we're currently talking about Malaysia currently. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get your name, but Miss, firstly, thank you very much for the question. Just 2 weeks ago, the Deputy Prime Minister chaired a meeting on mental health, which combined a few ministries, and there were 3 ministers present, including myself, where we discussed a long-term plan to ensure that we address issues of mental health as we acknowledge that it is a national issue. Just to share an example, when I met up with my counterpart in Singapore, Minister Grace Fu, the Minister of Youth and Sports in Singapore, and I asked her what's her main priority in a ministry. She said one of her top priorities is to address mental health issues there. It is a growing issue. For example, if you look at the budget tabled by Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, the whole budget, the national budget, was around mental wellness, which is about the quality of life, and it's linked intrinsically to mental health as well, to show that this is a global issue. But in the Malaysian context, there were many things which were discussed, but a few key decisions to be done. The clear low-hanging fruit or quick win is to ensure that there's a toll-free line for befrienders, and one more, there's a government hotline to assist those who would like to seek for help and treatment. I think that's the low-hanging fruit. The second part to look at is to jumpstart a national campaign for everyone from all rungs of society to talk about mental health a lot more. Because stigma is here. So just recently, Minister Dr. Zul launched a campaign of Let's Talk Malaysia, which is key because we need to get the conversation going. You were right in pointing out that unfortunately there are still some quarters of society which sees those who complain or who talk, who are patients of mental health, as those who are crazy, which is a woeful mischaracterization. But if we don't get society to talk, we'll forever be stuck and imprisoned in that stigma. And we need to get many more layers of society to start talking about it, so that society normalizes itself to mental health issues. I show one clear example. People always think that mental health will not afflict those, it will only afflict specific quarters of society, but will not afflict others. But when Tengku Iman, she's like one of the icons of mental health, also the daughter to the young Di-Pertuan Agong, when she spoke up on mental health, it opened up the eyes of many young people. Someone of her stature also went through some troubled past, but were able to overcome it when she was daring enough to seek for help. And when she opened up, it also opened up the eyes of many Malaysians to effectively say that you are not alone, that there are others out there to assist and support you throughout the journey. So I think that's the second part. The third part obviously is on legislative reforms. I was informed that the Ministry of Health will come up with a comprehensive solution, I think in October, on a whole mental health plan. We discussed recently on decriminalizing attempted suicide. There's also an ongoing discussion on a more sensitive issue which I'm not in a position to disclose yet until Cabinet decides decisively on looking at alternative treatment mechanisms for patients. So there are many things which we are looking at, but in a way, the least that all of us can do is to start talking about mental health a lot more. Thank you.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, questions? All the way there. I was with you guys just now and you guys didn't have any questions. This is a very interactive conference by me, don't worry. Ada running commentary while walking. Yes. Our good friends from YTL College, eh?
Hi, good morning. My name is Daniel. We have a friendly request from you. We just want to ask, can we take photo with us?
Naughty question.
Second is a question, not a request. On a serious note, what is your advice for us students to manage our mental health?
Thank you very much. I want to start off by declaring that I'm not a mental health expert. But I've went through issues surrounding mental health personally. So my advice would be more of a personal one, less from a medical practitioner perspective. But to answer your first concern, definitely bro, photo no problem, I'll be here. The second and more pertinent side of things, different people have different ways of addressing mental health. Just recently, literally like yesterday, I completed reading a book on mental health. It's called Lost Connections. I'd highly recommend that you read that book. It's a brilliant book. It looks at different reasons why people have mental health issues and how to address it as well. For example, for myself, for me, whenever I feel so stressed out, one of my coping mechanisms is to play around my cats.
Sorry, my bag.
I mean, some other people will be damn annoyed when cats are around them, but for me, that's one of my ways, right? At the same time, when I go out with friends, and you don't have to do luxurious things, literally just going out and have a chit chat, coffee, I feel much better. In that book, just to share, there were many things which were outlined. But in general, having the right social support system, right, at the same time, you having your own internal mechanisms to deal with things will help the ways how you address mental health. But the most important thing to note is that you are never alone. Always talk to friends and families and experts if you have problems. Don't be afraid to share, because in the end, when you start sharing, then you will more likely get more assistance and support, and you will no longer just box it in and wait for that pressure or the pressure cooker to explode. Just everyone will go through some level of issues, but I think as a society, if we address it collectively, we can resolve it. I wish you all the best in YTL College as well. Take care.
And YB, perhaps the last question from the crowd. Second last question from the crowd. Abah, tadi saya kat sebelah sana, abah tak panggil saya. 70,000 steps already, ladies and gentlemen.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zahid. Tuan Syed Saddiq, actually I'm not asking any question. I just want to give you, not say advice or what. Want to know, during 1994, Dr. Mahathir, Tun, our Prime Minister, launched what you call Rakan Muda. So when I see the benefit of this launching of Rakan Muda, a lot of the youths take part in what you call good kind of activities. Then I see nowadays the stress, what you call drugs level has been increased. So my advice is, maybe the government should come up with something, revamp models, maybe Rakan Muda 4.0, some kind of new version to improve. So please implement this in your activity. Thank you.
Rakan tak berapa muda pun nak participate.
By the way, just wait for the announcement sometime end of this year. We have a refined module to be shared to the public, but I agree with you 100%. The only problem which we faced before is that the Rakan Muda, when they're no longer muda, they don't want to leave. So So there's a hoarding of resources, and then the young ones don't get it anymore. But it's critical. You notice the strength of Rakan Muda is that it targets the youth and a specific segment of youth, which is those below 25 years old. And while unfortunately today, I can tell you about 95% of youth funding goes to groups and individuals who are above 30 years old. There you go. But so in a way, now we are in Parliament. During this session, I'll be tabling a bill to redefine the age of youth. Now at the moment it's at 40 years old to 30, so that youth funding can be targeted to actual young people, and then to multiply funding for those categories. Even if you look at the most recent survey, a lot of those who suffer from mental health are particularly those who are below 25 years old. So I think having more programs like Rakan Muda, which focuses on activities for these groups, will help a lot. But thank you very much. I 100% agree with your suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, next question. For YP Syed Saddiq from Dr. Amir Siddiq.
I just wanted to ask, first of all, thank you for actually coming, because I didn't know. So I'm as shocked as some people here. Second is, to all the rest, some of the things that YB had mentioned just now, I felt like I said it too, so it was not scripted, because I really did not know he's coming. But I think my question is more towards the opportunity that we've got here. I do work with other ministries, yeah? Particularly Ministry of Health. And I think we have slowly tried to approach the Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Youth. And of course, we've got a number of other local authorities that are keen on mental health. But I think since I've got you right here, can I just draw your sort of thoughts about what do you plan to do as the Minister of Youth in terms of this opportunity that we have on Let's Talk Malaysia? Because this is the first time that I'm aware of in my practice that we have now a national conversation, an opportunity to really trash out big issues. You know, they were mentioning just now insurance, they were mentioning things like job opportunities, some of them were mentioning about equality. But as the Minister of Youth, what are some of your thoughts, knowing now that you're part of that group of people that were with the Deputy Prime Minister?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I think about a month ago, I had a very, again, short, last-minute scheduled dialogue in IIUM. I had the privilege of meeting up with Doctor as well, to talk about mental health, and from there onward, we really wanted to go down the path of upscaling the conversation to become a national one. So I had a long conversation with other ministers. There's an agreement for us to do so. And now Dr. Zul has already officially launched the Let's Talk Malaysia campaign. And the Ministry of Youth and Sports will definitely partner in that campaign. What do we plan to do? At the moment, we are very much focused on 2 legislative reforms during the next parliamentary sitting. But once the parliamentary sitting is done, we're going all into the campaign. So we have a dedicated social media campaign to get social buy-in to that. At the same time, we have a nationwide campaign where we will go down with icons of mental health among young people from all backgrounds, so that they can easily connect with young people to show that that mental health affects people from different backgrounds and can be resolved collectively together. And beyond that, is obviously to ensure that the ground is strong enough, or the momentum is strong enough to pursue a path where there's greater funding for mental health. When more young people talk about it and people know that this is a serious issue, then it's much easier to pressure and lobby for greater increase in funding. And also in terms of legislative changes. So it's on decriminalizing attempted suicide. It's also about looking at alternative treatments which exist, which may be unconventional and at times sensitive, but necessary. So there are many other things which will come with it, but it will be sparked by that national conversation. A lot of other countries have done it, which then created a strong momentum for long-term reforms. I think Malaysia should have the same as well. So obviously, it must be driven by experts, but at the same time, the message must be carried out by everyone. So if there's any way in which I could assist, and I've been working very well with Ministry of Health, please do tell me. This idea also came after that dialogue. So if there are any other things which I can do, please do tell me. Thank you very much, Doctor.
I think it's me offering my help with you, because I'm with the Ministry of Education as a lecturer at the University of Malaya. But I think this is, like I said, an opportunity, and I think, like I shared with you just now, this is a little bit like God said. We discussed this just now in our Q&A, and now we have some nice answers that we can work on together.
And I have the last question for today, because YBN has to move on to another assignment, right? So this question was posed to me by a member of the audience, and the question goes like this: how would you like people with mental health challenges to be participative of the mental wellness narrative moving forward?
I think first and foremost is just to get them to share and express their feelings and thoughts. Once they share it out, I hope it will help them, because usually, for myself, when I share, it creates greater closure, and it's much easier for people to extend a lending hand. But even bigger than that, when they share it out, it shows to their friends and families who might also be going through the same, if not their own set of unique problems, that they are not alone. The problem at the moment is, when we all box it in, we might not actually know that there are a lot of others out there who are experiencing the same like us, but are scared to reach out because even we box it in. So as long as there's no critical mass or enough people talking about it, then it will forever be a taboo and a stigma. And I believe the biggest enemy to mental health is when it remains as a stigma and taboo for society at large. So I think the easiest way to partake in this process is share your experience. You shouldn't be ashamed. However, at the same time, there's one scary thought which we discussed as well, which we have to address, obviously, and I believe with that critical mass, we will be able to address. When people start sharing and everyone starts opening up, and I'm very sure with this Let's Talk campaign, with the combination of Ministry of Health, Education, and Youth and Sports, and when we really go into the campaign and a lot more people start sharing about it, then will the support structure come with it? Because the last thing we want, we share, and then they get punished for it. For example, someone shares, an employer picks it up, and an employer discriminates the person for a particular obstacle which the person is going through. That's obviously bad. But that's why it's important for everyone to speak up. When people know it's not a one-off problem, and there are many others out there, that's when the one person who previously might face a problem will now stand together with millions of other people. So I think it starts with a duty and a responsibility to share, express, and to speak up. I think when that happens, we will all win together. Thank you.
So we're also roping in the Ministry of Human Resources to listen to this narrative. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, we thank Syed Saddiq, came all the way. He's got to rush, but he came right in time to join Associate Professor Dr. Amir Siddiq in his session. Plenty of conversations happened earlier, and plenty of conversations really were addressed. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, can we rise together and let's show Syed Saddiq our Reach Out, Speak Out pledge. Okay. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, kita buat brain gym dulu. Nah. 1, 2, 3. Reach out, speak out. Lagi sekali. Reach out, speak out. One more. 1, 2, 3. Reach out, speak out. Okay, congratulations everyone. Congratulations, Dr. Saddiq. Shall we? Majlis dengan segala hormat yang menjemput Dr. Sanggita Kaur, Puan Nuraini Mustafa dan juga Dr. Hazlinda Zainal untuk bersama-sama dengan Yang Berhormat Menteri Belia dan Sukan YB Syed Saddiq Abdul Rahman untuk menyampaikan sedikit cendera hati dari Emerging Journey Asia, dari MySehat dan juga daripada MIKMA, dengan harapan YB Syed Saddiq bolehlah ingat kita selalu balik mall boleh belanja kita makan. Kita orang baik jauh. Can we have a picture together? Okay. And we also have newly painted and masih basah lagi ni. Dan fresh from the farm. So ladies and gentlemen, part of the memento that we shared with YB Syed Saddiq is also inside your care bags, the one that you got on your tables. So have a look at it. This is part of your mental health intervention first aid kit, which Dr. Sanggita later will show you how to use in your daily lives. And on behalf of Emerging Journey Asia, Dr. Sanggita Kaur, Dr. Hazlinda and also Puan Nuraini, this is our special canvas. It matches your yellow ribbon. But the green ribbon signifies mental wellness. So hopefully when you have this in your office, you can remember us, and you can also remember to champion mental wellness every day. Thank you, YB. And last but never the least, we would like one photograph from YB for a special canvas.
Oh my God. Should focus more there.
And just nice, that completes the triumvirate of the ministries that we want to get involved, first and foremost. And we've got one space for Dr. Wan Aziza, right in the middle there. That's nice. So YB, before you go off, I need one small favor for you, because Associate Professor Dr. Ami Siddiq has been so kind to present right before you. We'd like you to present him with a token of appreciation for his, his session went beyond just talking about mental health, but also about championing mental wellness. And we've got two very, very handsome gentlemen on stage, with one beautiful lady right in the middle. Congratulations, Associate Professor Dr. Amir Siddiq bin Aminuddin from UM Cares. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, can you stand up? Come closer so we can get a Wi-Fi with YB? Boleh? Quick one.
No, I think you're supposed to go up there and click for me. Oh, you. Sorry.
Everyone, come closer to the front, facing the stage. Facing the stage. Tak apalah, you all semua ambil gambar dengan YB, lepas ni YB ambil gambar dengan I. Okay? Okay. Afiq, kita buat flash, Richard speaker. Okay. Quick one, Reach out, speak out, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Reach out, speak out. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3. Reach out, speak out. Sungguh berbesar hati kami di Emerging Journey Asia dan Mental Health Experiential Conference 2019 kerana YB Menteri Belia Sukan bersama-sama dengan kami sanggup mengambil masa untuk bercakap-cakap dengan kita semua, berkongsi idea. Semua nak YB.
Can you all do it on the way? Yeah, thank you. Right, guys, clear the way.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to be really quick because YP has to move off for another program. Dah janji ya. And also, as soon as YP leaves, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 more programs left. So, don't leave with YP. Jangan naik kereta dia.
No, losing viewers. Reach out, speak out. Reach out, speak out. Focus.